Good morning, fans. This is your girl from Mel's Match Chat, and this is your review of WWE Money in the Bank 2024. I want to apologize for yesterday. Was exhausted all this last week. My man was here, and I just between working and dealing with a bunch of other things, I was exhausted, and stupid me, came back upstairs from walking my man to the downstairs as a good girlfriend would. um I laid on the couch and that was it to me. So when I woke up, I just wasn't feeling right, and I just said screw it, and I went and right back to sleep and rested for the rest of the day. I'm exhausted, so much so that I'm still in my pajamas, honestly. So we're gonna have a treat today. Okay, we're gonna have a little bit of a treat today. I actually watch NXT Heatwave. So we're going to do both on this. We're going to do obviously Money in the Bank first, and then we're going to go right into Heatwave. And then I'm going to get you out of here. Hopefully it's not going to be too long, but you know me. But please do me a favor and go and like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I go live, upload a video, or do a short, you will know about it. Please do me a favor and go check out all the content. If you want the go home shows, it's on the preview and prediction of Money in the Bank for Raw and SmackDown. Also, I have a lot of content on the channel, so go check that out. Also, please do me a favor, go follow me on my social media platforms, which is Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, X, and Cameo. If you want to get me on there, it's Mel's Match Chat. Please do me a favor and also go follow me on my Snapchat, is Real Mel's Match Chat. Please also go check me out on OnlyFans. You now have to pay $5 to see my content. It's only $5. I mean, if you pay for Sean Ross Sapp, you can pay for my nudes. So go check that out. Also, please do me a favor. Go check out My Extra Classics at myextraclassics.com. Visit their website for all your beard essentials. Please do me a favor. Go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Visit their website to get all your artillery to murder your thirst. You can have regular spring water, unflavored seltzer water, flavored seltzer water, and iced tea, plus sports packs, plus righteous merch. I'm actually drinking lime right now with a little bit of help because let me tell you something. I need a little zhuzh with they got to get rid of the agave crap. I don't like it. I have to put like a flavoring in it to mask the agave. It's disgusting. But I put a flavoring in it and it evens everything out, so I'm good to go. Also, please, if you want to try the world's strongest coffee with the lowest acidic rate, please check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. And they have some righteous merch, and it'll get you ready for the spooky season. That's like legitimately upon us. Also, if you want to support independent professional wrestling locally right here, go check out House of Glory. House of Glory is having its next event on Friday, July 26th. High intensity. We have AEW World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Strickland going against the founding father of House of Glory, Amazing Red. One of the Bloodline members, Zilla Batu versus Mike Santana for the HOG World Heavyweight Championship. Also, East Coast versus West Coast, Future Stars of Wrestling versus House of Glory Superstars in Las Vegas, August 17th. And just announced very recently, September 5th, Chicago Logan Square Auditorium. So if you want to get your tickets now, go get them at hogwrestling.net. And if you want to watch it, if you can't be there, you could get it on the Thriller app. So that is that. Let's start off with Money in the Bank. They had no pre-show, no matches for Money in the Bank, which is great. Thank you, Paul Levesque, for not giving us more matches. We love you for that. We love you for that. So basically, we are doing 5 matches: the men's and women's Money in the Bank. We have Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker, and a 6-man tag: Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton versus the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu. Now, I'm glad that Triple H is finally getting involved in getting these people cleared to go to international countries, because it's kind of unfair, especially he's in his like mid to late 30s, Jacob Fatu, and he did this crime at 18. He's hasn't been in trouble since. So why are we holding this against him? It was a stupid situation, and now he's paid for it, and now he's done his time, and let's now move on, So I'm glad that they did what they did, and now we can have more people coming into the company if they have like a bit of a record. Because I think it's kind of unfair that if you're doing so well and doing so good on in your life and you haven't been in trouble with the law, you need to have a second chance. And it's not like he committed murder. It was just a robbery. And nobody got hurt with what I've read of the whole story. So I think he's now repented and he deserves a second chance. And my God, he fucking worked his ass off to look the way he is. And I'm glad that he has the opportunity. I've been following his career since MLW when he was in Contra Unit. And I'm so glad that he's got the opportunity to be with his family and to thrive and, be able to give it a chance to become the superstar that I know that he can be. And I know he was always am. Fuck. Shit. He's a fucking quick son of a gun. You think Brock Lesnar was quick? This guy, I'd love to see him against Brock Lesnar. We started off Money in the Bank with the men's Money in the Bank. We had Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, and Andrade El Idolo. They started off, Drew starts off with a headbutt, but Knight responds with a clothesline that sends Drew over the top rope. Meanwhile, Hayes lands punches on Knight and follows up with a kick. Chad Gable applies a side headlock on Andrade while Knight executes a powerful slam in the ring. Jey Uso and Knight find themselves alone. Hayes and Chad bring ladders into the ring, but Knight drop kicks Chad through the ropes while Jey drives out with a suicide dive onto Carmelo. Drew pulls off Andrade off the ramp, off the apron, and slams him into the ringside barrier. Jey and Knight grab a ladder, but Drew intercepts with another ladder, hitting both of them. Drew then targets Chad and Hayes, slamming Chad's head into a ladder and setting up one to climb. Chad interrupts trading punches with Drew, who retaliates and smashes Chad's head. Into the ladder top. Chad locks in the figure 4 armbar on Drew, but Andrade breaks it up with a springboard leg drop on to Chad. Sorry, my freaking goddamn email just decided to open the fuck up and it completely blocked what I'm doing here. Andrade uses a ladder to hit Drew and Knight and then climbs, only for Hayes to punch him to stop. Andrade and Hayes trade blows until Andrade returns to the ladder, with Hayes landing a springboard clothesline to halt Andrade. Hayes brings in a larger ladder and Andrade executes an inverted Spanish fly onto it. Meanwhile, Jey and Drew exchange punches. Jey delivers a Samoan drop and a spear to Drew, then kicks Chad and lands an uppercut and dragon whip. Chad responds with a German suplex to Jay, followed by a deadlift. German suplex to Drew. Chad catches Hayes mid springboard with a Chaos Theory suplex and then suplexes a ladder onto Andrade. Chad climbs the ladder, but Knight pulls him off and throws him into the turnbuckles. Knight delivers kicks, but Chad counters with a dragon screw. Chad attempts to slide a ladder at Knight, who dodges and hits a neck breaker onto the ladder, and leaving them both men feeling the impact. Knight and Hayes trade punches near the announce table, with Knight repeatedly slamming Hayes into it. Knight sets up a ladder between the announce table and apron and tries to powerbomb Hayes through it, but Hayes lands on his feet and hits the first 48. Hayes climbs the ladder, but Chad pulls him down. Hayes retaliates with kicks and attempts to climb again. Chad stops him with forearms and joins him on the ladder, bridging it to apply an ankle lock on the other side of a larger ladder. Andrade climbs and Chad sends Hayes crashing into the ladder, knocking him to the mat. Chad then slams Andrade into the top of the ladder several times. Drew intervenes by pulling Chad off the ladder and hurling him into the smaller ladder. Drew sets up for a powerbomb onto the ladder against the turnbuckle, slamming Chad onto it. He follows up with a Claymore kick that sends Andrade over the top rope. Jay interrupts Drew's climb to the top of the ladder with a headbutt, but Knight strikes Drew with a ladder. Jay capitalizes with a super kick and Knight adds a BFT to Drew. Jay climbs the turnbuckle and delivers a frog splash on Drew. Jay and Knight trade punches atop the ladder, with Jay gaining the upper hand and grabbing the briefcase momentarily. Knight fights back with punches, but Hayes tips the ladder over, sending both Knight and Jay into the ropes. Hayes then executes a flip dive onto Chad, climbing to the top. Hayes lands nothing but net on Jay. He ascends the ladder and reaches for a briefcase, but Andrade re-enters the ring, pulling Hayes down and throwing a ladder at him. Andrade sets the ladder between the ropes and the one in the ring. He and Hayes climb, exchanging forearms until Knight intervenes. Andrade counters Knight with a sunset flip powerbomb to Hayes through the ladders. Chad locks in the waist lock, and Knight knocks him off the ladder and slams Chad's head onto it. Chad retaliates with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex over the top onto the ladder against the announce table. Chad climbs the ladder, but Jay stops him and pulls the ladder away, causing Chad to cling to the hook before falling to the mat. Jay follows up with a spear to Chad and climbs the ladder himself. Drew interrupts Jay ascend with a ladder shot, sending him crashing to the mat, and delivers a Claymore kick, climbs the ladder, and secures the briefcase as predicted. Now, if you're all saying, why do they keep screwing Jay Uso? Because he's not meant to be a singles competitor. He's just waiting for the actual story. This is because it's just a fluke situation that he's gotten over, so they're running with it. Nothing more, nothing less. So please, people, get over yourselves. All right? Intercontinental Championship match, Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn. Braun Breaker makes his way to the ring to beat of his fresh music. The moment the bell rings, he wastes no time, swiftly executing a powerful backdrop on his opponent. Braun Breaker starts strong with a waistlock takedown. He invites Sami to hit him, but Sami opts to slap Braun instead. Braun responds by diving Sami into the corner with shoulder tackle thrust. Sami fights back with punches and uppercut, then takes to the air with a forearm off the turnbuckles and follows up with more strikes. After both return to the ring, Sammy chops Braun, but Braun retaliates with a running clothesline and punches. Braun hits a overhead belly suplex. He continues with a knee to Sammy's head and shows off some push-ups. Sammy counters with an uppercut and tries to move off the turnbuckle, but Braun catches him. Sammy manages to escape a suplex and hits a tornado DDT from a waistlock for a near fall. Sammy unleashes a series of punches and then leaps over Braun, catching him with a clothesline that sends him over the top rope to the floor. Sammy follows up with a chop, but Braun reverses an Irish whip. Sammy attempts a moonsault off the ringside barrier, but Braun catches him, turning the tables. Sammy sends Braun crashing into the ring post and then to the floor. Sammy tries to dive through the corner for a tornado DDT, but Braun halts him with a devastating clothesline on the outside. Braun signals for a big move, but Sammy counters with a kick and nails a Blue Thunder Bomb for a close 2 count. Regaining momentum, Braun delivers punches in the corner and positions Sammy on the turnbuckle with precision. Braun executes an uppercut and sets up for a Frankensteiner, connecting for another near fall. Braun Breaker charges around the ring, aiming for a spear, but Sami Zayn cleverly leapfrogs over him, causing Braun to stop short of the steps. Seizing the opportunity, Braun places Sami on the announce table and delivers clothesline from the apron, sending Sami crashing over the table. After returning Sami to the ring, Braun appears to favor his knee. Despite this, he lifts Sami overhead, but Sami counters it with an exploder into the turnbuckle. Sami prepares for a signature haluva kick, but Sami intercepts with a jumping hip attack. Braun doesn't relent, lifting Sami once over more and executing a powerful power slam. I gotta fix myself. Braun sets up for another spear, but Sami kicks him away, seizing the moment. Sami connects with a haluva kick and secures the victory via pinfall, retaining the title. And as we shall see, that it was the right move, because we've got SummerSlam. The thing is that he's going to use the knee, saying, "Oh, my knee," and that's why I couldn't beat him. Or we could have a multi-match. I would rather have the multi-man match, because then it saves Sami Zayn from getting pinned, and then we can have another match at Bash in Berlin. We have an announcement. We have the announcement marks the 27th anniversary of Bad Blood, which is going to be coming from Atlanta, Georgia, and it's going to be coming to you on October 5th. Of course, you're going to know that I'm going to be covering it. I'm hoping to pray to God that it's a Saturday that I don't have to go and see my son, and it'll be a pleasurable situation here. So Trish Stratus comes out. Trish Stratus asks the crowd if they're enjoying themselves, mentioning the special moments of the evening and reminiscing about her own experience in the building. She hints at being the surprise partner of someone in the past. Suddenly, Trish introduces John Cena, and the arena went nuts. So he ends up going to the ring. This is where I was like, what the fuck was on his towel? And I just couldn't compute it. I'm like, uh-oh, is this really the end of his run? And John Cena addresses the crowd, noting their readiness to sing and acknowledge their enthusiasm. He drops a bombshell. He announces his official retirement from WWE. He acknowledges that mixed reactions, but he explains his decision. John reflects his career, spending over 2 decades, highlighting the highs and lows. He is particularly emphasizing steadfast support of the Canadian fans throughout his thick and thin. He credits them for WWE's success, expresses gratitude for their loyalty. Explaining the timing of his retirement, Cena ties it to Money in the Bank, symbolizing opportunity. He reveals while tonight's farewell is significant, his journey continues, with WWE moving to Netflix and upcoming historic events. Cena plans to make 2025 a year of last, including his final Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania. He is going to do the entire 2025. So seriously, Those events just became must see. So if you want to see John Cena last of last, go right ahead. And for the people who are fucking comparing this thing, I'm going to explain this to you. He's doing this on his own. He doesn't need anybody to help him. So that's the difference. So please stop comparing shit. Tribalism sucks in this community, honestly. So he concluded by inviting questions at the start of the press conference, leaving the crowd viewers with mixed emotions and anticipation for what lies ahead in his storied career. John Cena expressed his gratitude to the fans, appreciating their kindness gesture. He thanks everyone for allowing him to perform in the arena they helped build, for their vocal support and honesty throughout his career. Cena acknowledges the privilege of being present that night and announces his intention to return to Toronto to continue his journey to kick some ass. He boldly declares that if anyone wants to challenge him, they should act quickly because his final chapter is unfolding now. In another scene, in another segment, Damian Priest is seen in the Cult Pass, where Finn Balor tells Priest it's time to assert his dominance. Priest sternly warns everyone not to interfere in his affairs. As Priest exits, Finn sarcastically responds, "Whatever you say, boss," in dismissive and condescending manner. So we have the World Heavyweight Championship match. If Seth Rollins wins, Damian Priest must leave Judgment Day. If Seth Rollins loses, he cannot challenge for the title until Damian Priest loses it. So this sets up for a chain of events. So it kind of like logically, this sets up a whole total thing of events. And it worked out the way it should have. All right. And I want to let you know the buckle bomb has to go because he got a fucking stinger. And it wasn't part of like, oh, they didn't, the cues or anything like that. He fucking had a stinger. So that's why he stopped the fucking count. He didn't kick out. He said, I can't move right now. So they stopped it. So for the people who thought that, oh, the fucking ref botched, he had a stinger. What fucking goddamn Seth Rollins did to Sting, he got done to Damian Priest. So let's stop this controversy, all right? Enough of it. So it worked out. Now, Damian Priest is going to be taking on Gunther at SummerSlam. That's where he's going to win the title. That means, guess who's going to be slided in for that fucking main event in Germany? Seth Rollins. That's his payoff from what he did at WrestleMania. If you don't like it, tough fucking shit. I can't fucking help you. So Seth Rollins starts with punches and attempts a pedigree, but Damian Priest escapes and goes for South of Heaven move. Seth counters with a kick and chops. Priest blocks a suplex and hits a broken arrow. He follows up with punches and a forearm, then lands a leaping flatliner for a near fall. Priest continues the assault with elbows in the corner, momentarily distracted as he looks up the aisle and allows Rollins to recover and hit a sling blade. Rollins then clotheslines Priest over the top rope to the floor and scans the aisle for Drew. He follows up with suicide dive and sends Priest crashing into the announce table, then repeats the move. Rollins attempts a third suicide dive, sending Priest over the announce table. Priest leaps over Priest, who misses a kick. Rollins capitalizes with a roll-up and a super kick, followed by a springboard set time and a cabrata for another close near fall. Rollins continues the action with a thrust kick to Priest's chest, followed by a forearm. He misses a forearm aimed at the back of Priest's head, allowing Priest to capitalize with a headlock driver. Priest signals for a finishing move South of Heaven, but Rollins counters with a Hurricane Rana and nearly gets the pinfall. Priest responds with a clothesline and attempts a razor's edge, but Rollins fights back to his feet. Rollins avoids Priest's maneuver off the turnbuckle and slams him down, follows up with a running knee strike, then ascends for then descends the ropes, executing a frog splash for another near fall. Rollins targets Priest's leg with a kick and followed up with a elbow strike. Priest sends Rollins to the apron, but Rollins counters with an elbow. Priest tries to halt Rollins with a turnbuckle with an uppercut. Rollins sets up for a Hurricane Rana, but Rollins counters with a buckle bomb. Priest retaliates with a sit-out powerbomb for another close near fall. The intensity rises as Priest and Rollins exchange forearms, retaliated into a heated exchange of kicks and strikes. Rollins delivers a super kick, but Priest responds with a psycho kick and partially blocks a second super kick attempt. Rollins prevents Priest from executing South of Heaven and attempts a pedigree, but Priest counters with a back body drop. Rollins quickly recovers, hitting a stomp and scoring another near fall. Rollins challenges Priest to get to his feet like a man, prompting Priest to deliver a razor's edge for yet another near fall. Rollins positions Priest on the turnbuckle, preparing for a suplex. Priest fights back by boxing Rollins' ears, causing Rollins momentary loss of his balance. Rollins recovers and manages to execute a suplex. He follows up with an attempt at a Falcon Arrow, but Priest counters with a knee strike. Rollins persists and hits a Falcon Arrow for a close near fall. Meanwhile, Drew McIntyre music hits and he arrives at the ring. With his money in the bank briefcase, though there's no referee present. Drew enters the ring and hands the briefcase to the referee, officially making it a triple threat, a la WrestleMania 31 in California. So as the match intensifies, Rollins strikes Drew with a super kick, but Drew retaliates with a Fuchsia Shock DDT. Drew prepares for a Claymore on Rollins, but Priest intervenes with a clothesline to Drew, sending him out of the ring. Priest then dispatches Rollins to the floor and turns his attention back on Drew, avoiding the South of Heaven and delivering a thrust kick. The match takes a chaotic turn when CM Punk music hits and he appears to attack Drew. McIntyre amidst the scuffle. Punk uses the chair to assault Drew multiple times, even choking him with a cord. Punk continues the assault with punches and more chair shots, eventually sending Drew over the ring barrier. Punk retrieves the championship and brings it into the ring, striking Drew with it. Meanwhile, in the ring, Priest capitalizes on the chaos, hitting the South of Heaven and securing the pinfall victory. And Damian Priest retains. Excellent ending to that. And boy, was fucking Drew pissed off. So much so that at the post show, he attacks officials. He also backhands and kind of basically, if you saw the fucking video for CM Punk, they took a take on it basically, and he got suspended indefinitely. And I love Adam Pearce. He said Jackie Redmond feared for her life. I love that shit. I love it because it's now pushing fucking TK's shit in. He don't like that. When he gets his shit pushed in, he doesn't like it. But when they push Triple H's shit in, he fucking says, all right, motherfucker, you just woke me up. Now I'm going to fucking smoke your ass. So after the match with Damian Priest retaining the championship, Seth Rollins is visibly frustrated and enraged by the interference from CM Punk because he cannot now challenge for that title anymore. Feeling forward, Rollins attempted to confront Punk, but Corey Graves stepped in to restrain him. Rollins, seething with anger, struggles against Graves, clearly wanting to get his hands on Punk, but unable to do so at that moment. That's going to set up their match. I don't know if it's going to be at SummerSlam or it's going to be down the line, but I'm loving this. This now puts them in another feud where it's more story. I love story. I love to be... I get excited about what's going to happen next with a specific storyline. And that's what we need from every promotion, not just WWE, every promotion and every brand and whatnot. Because let me tell you something, story is key. Story is key. That's what comes big. That's all right. Let's go to having soap operas. I haven't watched fucking General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and the Beautiful, and all that shit in years, because they rehash the same story, or they say, "Oh, this one was the father, but now this one's the father." I don't want to fucking deal with that. It's the same fucking shit over and over. No, I need fresh stories. These are fresh stories. I'm gonna continue watching it. Very simple. We go to women's Money in the Bank, which I was upset with who the winner was. I think they got it wrong, and I think Tiffany Stratton should have maybe got it next year and build her up, because something happened that she said something on social media that kind of caused her to be them to pull back. And I think that she should have not gotten the Money in the Bank. I think she should have gotten it next year, and it would have built up her stock a little bit more. Give Chelsea Green the nod. I mean, for Christ's sake, look what she done. I think they should have called an audible, but that's what I would have done. Triple H, you need to reward her. Honestly, you need to reward her with a run with a title. And now they're thinking about bringing mid card titles. We don't have a mid card in the women's division, but I don't book the show. We don't need it, honestly. Women's Money in the Bank. Io Shirai. Io Sky. I can't believe I just said Io Shirai. And how long has she been Io Sky? For years. Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. Chelsea Green's actually afraid of heights. So I got to give her, this is why she needs to get her flowers. That's just me. Oh, makeup. I'm having an allergy attack this morning, so I can't put any makeup on. My eyes feel like I have pink eye because I've been rubbing them so much through the night. So everyone except Chelsea head to the floor to grab a ladder. Zoe placed one on the apron, and Green rested a ladder away from Io. Naomi used the ladder to ram Tiffany into the ringside barrier. Green started climbing, but pauses, attempted to dislodge the case with the ladder. She knocks Naomi and Zoe off the apron with it. Io delivers a springboard dropkick to Green. Tiffany strikes Io, who retaliates with a kick. Io traps Tiffany, but Tiffany counters with a forearm. Io misses a handspring kick, and Tiffany narrowly avoids it, being Irish whipped into the ladder. Io drops Tiffany into the ladder and follows up with a running double knee strike. And I want to give you a way that they could have gotten around that. I'm going to let you in on it after I finish running through with. It just came into my brain thinking about it. Lyra attempts a tornado DDT but gets caught in the ropes. Meanwhile, Lyra executes a DDT on Io and follows up with a fisherman buster onto the ladder, setting up a ladder in the ring. Lyra knocks Green down outside. Zoe enters with a springboard dropkick to Lyra, then lands a super kick followed by a DDT. Zoe clotheslines Lyra and hits a TKO on the ladder. Placing Lyra on the ladder, Zoe heads to the apron, goes for a slingshot twisting senton, but hits the ladder with her head instead. Naomi delivers a Luther's press to Zoe on the ladder, followed by a split-legged moonsault onto it. Tiffany knocks in a waist hold, countered by a Naomi back elbow. Tiffany performs a cartwheel into an Alabama slam on Naomi on the ladder. She then uses a ladder to push Io into the corner and trap her before walking it and hitting a swanton onto everyone. I got to admit, she's really good in the aerial situation. Charlotte, please do me a favor while you're on hiatus from your injury. Please watch Tiffany Stratton, and she knows how to do an actual decent moonsault. All right? Please stop using that fucking moonsault. You're not your husband. You're not his fucking brother. Enough. All right? Please, for the love of God, stop it. His brother Roosh, stop it. If you want to get fucking goddamn tips on doing it, please, for the love of God, please watch Dragon Lee, watch Roosh, and then you'll get it. Please, for the love of God. Green positions the ladder in the center of the ring and starts climbing, but Io strikes her back with another ladder and hits her in the face. Io begins climbing, but Lyra pulls her off and traps her in the ladder, slamming her head into it. Io retaliates with a repeated kicks to Lyra's head. While she's caught in the ladder, Lyra manages to pull herself up and German suplex Io off the ladder, only to be kicked off by Zoe shortly after. That was a cool fucking spot where she German suplexed and she was like in the tree of woe on the ladder. That was fucking incredible. Io kicks Lyra off the ladder, follows it by kicking Lyra off it as well. Tiffany and Zoe start climbing the ladder while Naomi sets up another. Naomi pulls Tiffany down and delivers a knee strike. Zoe is pulled off the ladder. Tiffany and Zoe tug at the ladder while Naomi executes a split. Zoe kicks Tiffany and Naomi hits a DDT on her. Naomi begins climbing, but Tiffany intervenes and sends Naomi to the floor. Naomi pulls Tiffany down and slams her into the ringside barrier before retrieving a table underneath the ring. Green sends Naomi into the ring, steps the strategies with Tiffany, setting up the table. Back in the ring, Zoe and Lyra start climbing the ladder. Io springboards into the ladder, but Zoe stops her. Green uses the ladder to hit Io, and Tiffany stops Lyra. Green and Io exchange chops and forearms, setting the stage for the ladder war. Io sends Green into a ladder, and Zoe catapults Tiffany into another. Lyra positions herself on top of a ladder with the briefcase. She kicks Zoe away, but then stopped and choke slammed onto the ladder by Zoe. That was a nasty spot. I'm telling you, these women need to be applauded. They fucking put their asses on the line. Now, this is what we want to see. Please keep doing this. Please, for the love of God, do this. Then I can warrant a mid-card title for the women. Keep doing this. I want to keep seeing this. There's no way in hell for what we saw on NXT Heatwave with the two women's matches that they can't be doing this shit. They need to stop fucking around with the goddamn, oh, I'm going to break a nail or I'm going to cut myself. Fucking let's use Dr. Britt Baker DMD for Christ's sakes. She has no problem bleeding. Let's do this. Okay? Let's do this. Let's keep this up. Let's do this momentum. So Naomi delivers a roundhouse kick to Zoe and sends her into the ladder. Naomi climbs the ladder, but Green stops her with a forearm. Green then performs an unprettier on Naomi onto the ladder across the ring. Zoe climbs to the top and Io manages to stop her. They both struggle for the briefcase and Io pulls at Zoe's fingers. Zoe punches Io and sets her up for a suplex off the ladder, but Io counters. Io hits a tombstone off the ladder, sending Zoe crashing through the ladder, positions parallel to the mat. Green pushes Io to the floor and begins climbing the ladder, but Tiffany intervenes in a dramatic turn. Tiffany pushes Green off the ladder and she crashes through the table set up earlier. She's done that spot in TNA and she's done it elsewhere. So kudos to her, and she's afraid of fucking heights. This is why she needs her fucking flowers. She better fucking goddamn get a title run before she calls it a day in WWE. And she crashes through the table set up earlier. Tiffany seizes the opportunity and grabs the case. Now, if they wanted to give her the case, I would have used Piper Niven. All she would have had to do was go after every single one of them and fucking goddamn take handcuffs and handcuffed it. And then Green could have taken her time and not been so nervous, and she could have got the briefcase. It would have been a James Ellsworth situation. So Jackie Redmond is interviewing Trish Stratus about how the show was going. When Tiffany Stratton interrupts, asserting that she should be focusing on her, she insists Trish should be acknowledging her, claiming she's gone viral. No, she hasn't. Nope, not at all. Trish commonly responds and that she was about to congratulate Tiffany, but advises her not to get ahead of herself. Trish emphasizes that how Tiffany handles cashing in the contract will determine if she's a future Hall of Famer or just a fleeting presence. Tiffany retorts, suggesting Trish's time has passed while hers is beginning. I want to put this out here. I would love to see Tiffany fail. I would love to see Tiffany fail. She'll be the first person in history failed at a women's Money in the Bank. Do it, WWE. Do it. I would love to see it. Perfect. Because if she cashes in on fucking Nia Jax, she's going to have a failed fucking goddamn cash in. So this actually did not make sense. Because you know that Nia Jax is going to be the new women's champion. She's going to beat Bayley at SummerSlam. So you're going to have two heels. Makes no sense. This was a stupid move. This is why she should have had it next year. Put a baby face as the queen of the ring, and then cash in on her. But nobody wants to go there, right? Unless they're going to fucking screw Nia Jax, but I don't think so. Who's on the board of directors in TKO and WWE. Main event time. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton versus the Bloodline. We had Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, and Tama Tonga, which I still can't believe that those two are still in WWE, which fucking blows my mind. Cody starts off the match and Solo decides to enter the ring for the first for his team. Before any action unfolded, Solo quickly tags in Tama. They locked up, and after a brief They lock up after a brief exchange. Tama cleanly breaks away in the corner. Cody counters with a waistlock into a side headlock and drops down for an uppercut. Tama responds with punches, attempts, and an Irish whip that Cody counters with a boot and follows up with a bulldog. Kevin tags in and unleashes forearms and punches on Tama, focusing his attack in the corner. Despite the referee intervention, Kevin continues with more strikes. Cody tags back in and delivers a forearm to Tama's ribs, followed by a delayed gory buster. Randy requests a tag and Cody complies, with Randy landing punches and European uppercuts on Tama. Randy dominates in the corner with more punches and an uppercut, but Tama resorts to a thumb to the eye, allowing Fatu to tag in. Randy sidestepped Fatu, sending him to the apron and then executing a hanging DDT. As Randy returns, he's surprised to find Fatu standing, who quickly responds with a Samoan drop. Fatu follows up with a kick and pulls Randy into the corner. Solo tags in and delivers a kick to Randy's midsection, continuing with the punches in the corner. Fatu and Tama join in, working over Randy while Solo distracts the referee. Solo chokes Randy, stomps on his head, and continues to choke him in the ropes, while Fatu adds a kick to the head. Tama tags back in and hitting a slingshot senton on Randy and proceeding with punches and a side headlock. Randy counters with a belly-to-belly suplex, leaving both men down. Kevin tags in and unleashes punches on Tama, Solo, and Fatu. He continues punches and kicks, specifically targeting Tama, then knocks Fatu off the apron. Kevin delivers a kick to Tama, followed by a clothesline. He punches Fatu off the apron again and hits a cannibal on Tama. Kevin climbs to the top rope and for a swanton and gets a near fall. Fatu intervenes, punching Kevin and pulls Tama into their corner for a tag. Fatu lands punches and a diving headbutt on Kevin. Fatu follows up with more punches, a forceful Irish whip, and a tag in Solo. Solo delivers a boot to Kevin and prevents him from tagging out. He executes another Irish whip, and Tonga adds punches while the referee is distracted. Kevin retaliates with punches and chops, but Solo answers with his own punches, including a running hip attack into the corner. Fatu tags back in and hits a running hip attack as well. He applies a front face lock, but Kevin fights back with chops, prompting Fatu to respond with a flying cross body. Tama tags and continues an assault with punches on Kevin. Kevin struggles to escape in the corner. Fatu tags back in, punching Kevin, followed by Solo tagging in and continuing the punching exchange. Solo knocks Cody off the apron and attempts to dive over the top rope, but Kevin ducks, causing Solo to crash outside. Tonga pulls Orton into the outside barrier while Fatu distracts the referee. Solo takes advantage and punches Kevin in the corner. Kevin slaps Solo and dares him to hit him back, leading to an exchange of punches where Solo gains the upper hand. Solo misses a running hip attack when Kevin dodges, followed Fatu to tag back in and connect with an elbow drop. Fatu applies the chin lock and bites Kevin's hand, following up with a headbutt. Fatu attempts a splash in the corner, but hits a ring post and goes down. Cody and Solo tag in with Cody landing numerous punches. He follows with a running forearm, floats over for a power slam, and executes a beautiful disaster kick, followed by a Cody cutter. Cody clotheslines Fatu out of the ring, then performs a suicide dive onto Solo. He returns to the ring and performs another suicide dive, this time onto Tonga, pushing Fatu aside. Fatu retaliates with uppercuts and punches, setting up for a spear through the ringside barrier, but Cody counters with a back body drop. Solo capitalized with a spear on Cody for a near fall. Solo attempts to lift Cody, but Cody manages to escape. Solo evades a pedigree from Cody and accidentally hits the referee, seizing the opportunity. Cody hits Solo with a crossroads, but the referee is knocked out. Kevin climbs to the top rope, lands a frog splash while the referee is down on the floor. Randy enters the ring, twist to the mat, and punches it in frustration, and then delivers an RKO to Solo. Cody adjusts the announce table and set it up for a Cerberus bomb on Solo, but Fatu intervenes and takes out Cody, Randy, and Kevin. Fatu goes for a splash on Owens against the ring post, but Kevin moves, and the referee seems to be out of action. Kevin seizes the opportunity, delivering a stunner and then hitting Fatu with a giant bottle. Followed Owens with the prime bottle. Owens follows up with a frog splash through the table. Kevin sends Tama into the ring and sets up a package pile driver, but Tonga delivers a low blow. He accidentally hits his brother, and I'm looking at it from somebody took the footage, and I said, "Fucking Tonga Low is going to be owing Tama Tonga a nice amount of pot after him getting knocked on the head by him." It was hilarious. Orton responds with RKO to Tonga and then to Tama. Solo hits Randy with a Samoan spike. Cody hits Solo with a crossroads, then holds for another and a third, but Fatu interrupts with a twisting senton off the turnbuckle. Fatu follows it up with a implant DDT to Cody. Fatu holds Cody for Solo, who delivers a Samoan spike. Solo covers Cody. Miraculously, the referee comes back to life and makes the count, and the winner is the Bloodline. And we kind of knew what was going to happen, so it is what it is. Hey, Alyssa, how are you, sweetheart? I love you. Do you agree? Do you need to stop the pin? Champion challenger did not so ready for that. Can't stand pin. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the if Damien Damien Priest was saying that he couldn't feel anything or anything like that, that was a good situation because they didn't know if he was going to be okay or not. Check something now because my camera just froze and I want to know if my thing is still going. Yep, still going. Fan freaking tastic. I thought my thing went. I'm sorry. Sorry, I just have to make sure that my stream was going on because my camera decided to glitch a little. Sorry. So, yeah, I'm all for the pin to stop because they got to make sure he's okay because they have to make the decision on whether they have to call an audible or not. Why did I do that? So that is that. We're gonna go right into Money in the Bank. Not Money in the Bank. Heat Wave. There was, I believe, there was 6 matches, including the pre-vote, which we did not need. Did I watch it? Unfortunately, I did. So, it is what it was. So Heat Wave was it was a decent pay per view, PLE, whatever it was. But honestly, we really didn't need that extra match, but it is what it is. Heat Wave matches are as followed: Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Championship, Ethan Page, Sean Spears, Javion Evans, and Trick Williams. We had the NXT Women's Championship, Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. NXT Tag Team Championship, Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Andre Chase and Duke Hudson. North American Women's Champion, um, Kalali Jordan versus Sol Ruka. Men's North American Championship, Oba Fenny versus Wes Lee. And we had a kickoff match. We had a tag team. We had Carmen Petrovic and Adriana Grace versus JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. So that was pretty much of the entire rundown of the whole situation. We are going to start off with the kickoff match, and I just said who was going to be in it, and let's move on. The match starts off with Grace and JC. Grace backs JC into the corner, and JC hits a takedown with a forearm. JC then mocks Grace, and Grace hits a shoulder tackle and slams Carmen, and then tags in Carmen. Hits a discus clothesline for a near fall. Carmen then hits some kicks on Nix, and she gets a near fall. Carmen then hits an Irish whip and a knee into the corner. Grace then hits a shoulder in the corner. Grace then hits a suplex and a back elbow for a near fall. Grace then hits a forearm to the back. Carmen then tags in and chops Nix. Nix then hits an Irish whip, and Carmen hits a jumping side kick out of the corner and flying forearm for a near fall. JC then has some words for Carmen, and Nix hits Carmen from behind. JC then tags in and hits a back neck breaker while Carmen does an Okada roll on Nix. JC then hits some punches and a back elbow for a near fall. JC then hits a running hip into the corner, and Nix chokes Carmen for and hits a drop kick. JC then tags in and hits a cannonball for a near fall. JC then hits a seated abdominal stretch. Carmen then hits a roll up for a near fall. JC then hits a thrust kick on Carmen, and Nyx tags in, then goes for a double suplex and hits it. Nyx then gets a near fall. Nyx hits a figure four head scissor. Carmen then goes for a roll up for a near fall. Nyx hits a clothesline and gets a near fall. JC then tags in. Carmen lands her feet on a double suplex attempt. Nyx goes to the floor, and JC stops Carmen, but Carmen kicks her way, and Grace tags in. Grace then hits some elbows on JC and Nyx. Gracie then hits some elbows on both JC and Nyx and hits a lift. Grace then hits an elbow off the turnbuckles to the back for a near fall. JC then hits a jawbreaker and Carmen tags in. JC then has a kick blocked, and Grace holds JC for a jumping thrust kick. Heart attack for a near fall. Grace then sent to the floor, and Carmen misses a kick. JC then pulls Carmen to the mat, and Nyx tags in. Nyx then trips Carmen and JC with a knee, but Grace breaks up the cover. Grace then hits a code breaker on JC, but Nyx kicks Grace. Nyx then hits a Okada roll, but Grace pulls Nyx over, and Carmen gets the 3 count, and the winners are Carmen Pagravin and Andriana Grace. Solo goes 40 loose, and that I totally agree. That does make sense at all. He's going to end up getting the title match, which I think is wrong. I think it should go to Randy Orton, and I think that's when we're going to see Roman Reigns come back, and he's going to come back as an uber babyface. I swear, as soon as Roman Reigns' father died, he became the biggest babyface in all of professional wrestling. And I've been saying this since this has happened. So we go to the beginning of the actual card, and this was a fucking shocking situation. I actually enjoyed this match. And maybe this guy, Obafemi, is making a believer out of me. Who knows? But it was a really good match, and it was a really good opening hot match. I just wish that I can fucking mute Booker T's voice. Please, for the love of God, can we stop this? He's got to do something about his raspy voice. Get it fixed or something. There is technology out there, honestly. So, NXT North American men's match, Obafemi versus Wesley. I thought the fucking Rascals was going to come out and help him and win the title. But because of the TNA situation with the working relationship. But I don't think, because of what's going on with Zachary Wentz, is a little dicey at this point. The match starts off with Lee hitting a boot on Femi. It's midsection. Lee looks to hit a second one, but Femi catches Lee and trips him. Lee then delivers some right hands on Femi's midsection, but Femi sends Lee in the corner and looks to hit a boot. Lee then moves out of the way and hits a kick that follows up with an insecurity off the ropes. Femi then hits Lee with an oblique breaker, then places Lee on the top rope before knocking him to the outside. Lee then quickly recovers and hits a missile dropkick on Femi back inside the ring. Femi then gets Lee up on the shoulders and sends him crashing to the mat. The action spills to the outside. Femi hits a right hand on Lee's midsection. Femi then sends Lee crashing into the ring apron and under the ring, then gets back in the ring. The referee begins the 10 count, but Lee beats it. Femi and then hits an uppercut on Lee in the corner and follows up with a backbreaker. Femi then stands on Lee's spine before hits a stomp on it and follows up with another oblique breaker and a right hand on Lee's spine. Femi then sends Lee into the corner, then charges at him. Lee then ducks out of the way, and Femi is sent crashing into the ring post. Femi then clothesline Lee on the apron and follows up with a choke slam backbreaker combination. Back in the ring, Femi then continues wearing down Lee's previously injured spine, but Lee nails Femi with an insecurity and follows up with a few right and left hands. Lee then hits a DDT on Femi and follows it up with a couple of tope suicidas on him on the outside. Then looks to fly off the top rope. Femi then catches Lee, but Lee hits Femi with a Hurricane Rana and goes for a pin, and Femi kicks out. Lee then hits a meteor aura on Femi on the top rope, then looks to fly off of it. Femi then intercepts Lee with an uppercut and goes for a pin, but Lee kicks out. Femi then gets Lee on the shoulders and climbs to the top rope, but Lee escapes and looks to hit a Hurricane Rana on Femi. Femi then blocks Lee and power bombs him off the middle rope, but Lee nails Femi with a cardiac kick and goes for a pin, and Femi kicks out. Lee then hits a frog splash off the ropes on Femi, but Femi clotheslines himself and Lee out of the ring. Lee then lands on the apron and looks to fly, but Femi nails Lee with a shoulder breaker and gets back inside the ring. Lee then nails Femi with a knee to the side of his head, then follows it up with a double stomp on his spine and looks to hit the cardiac kick. Femi then catches Lee, but Lee escapes and Lee hits Femi with a thrust kick. Lee then once again looks for a cardiac kick, but Femi sees him coming and sends him crashing into the mat. Femi then hits Lee with a sit-out powerbomb for the win, and he won. And you know what? From what I've seen of him, and from what I've witnessed, he is what Keith Lee should be right now in AEW. Tell me when I'm telling lies, because I am telling you, I don't know what's going on with Keith Lee, but this is getting ridiculous. And he needs to, when his contract comes up, he needs to get the hell out of there and go back to WWE. He will be used. Trust me. Separate shots were shown of WWE NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and Lola Vice arriving to the arena. We get a video package of the next match, which is the women's North American match, which is Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka is fucking amazing. I actually saw her match, and she is in a place where she could bypass what's her face? I can't. She's out on injury right now. She's injury prone. But I'm slowly working, and she's slowly getting. I'm liking what she's doing with her, and I'm liking. The thing is with NXT, there's so many fresh faces. There's not people that we know of, and that's what made Black and Gold. We had a little bit of fresh faces, but we had mainstays of the independents where they helped them to become stars, and it was a great situation all around. Jacob should pin over better solo thing. So Jacob Fatu is gonna fucking outshine Solo in a heartbeat. And if you're wondering why, like, Roman didn't make his triumphant return, he was doing his father's funeral. And when he comes back, it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be what they kids call cinema. So this match starts off with both women taking turns trying to take each other down and locking in submissions on one another. Jordan hits crossbody on Ruka out of the corner. Ruka then hits a drop toe hold on Jordan, but Jordan responds with a low crossbody. Ruka then hits a face buster on Jordan and then puts her in a bow and arrow. Jordan then hits an arm drag on Ruka and then follows up with a Hurricane Rana and flies over the top rope to land on her on the outside. Both women then get back inside the ring, and Jordan hits Ruka with a face buster. Ruka then hits a couple of crossbodies on Jordan and follows up with a kick on her head. before hitting her with a 450 splash on the apron. Jordan and Ruka then exchange forearms with each other, but Jordan nails Ruka with a Pele kick. Jordan follows up with a poison Rana and springboard moonsault on Ruka on the outside. Ruka responds with a kick on Jordan's chest off the apron. Ruka then hits a moonsault on Jordan out of the corner, and the referee begins the 10 count. Both women then beat it, and Ruka gets Jordan on her shoulders. Jordan then escapes and rolls up Ruka, but Ruka kicks out. Ruka and Jordan then take turns unsuccessfully pinning each other before Ruka hits a powerbomb on Jordan. Ruka then places Jordan on the top rope and Jordan's are up there, but Jordan fights Ruka off and hits her with a 630 splash. Ruka then gets Jordan in an electric chair position, and Jordan looks to escape. Ruka then hangs on to Jordan and catapults her into the corner, then climbs to the top with her still in electric chair position. Jordan then hits a poison Rana on Ruka, follows up with a split leg and moonsault for the win. She wasn't going to get the title taken off of her because she just won it in the last PLE. So it's ridiculous. Honestly, they should have put it somebody that she could just basically pin, and there would be no other story. So after the match, Jordan helps Ruka up. Ruka then holds Jordan's hand up to show respect, and Jordan celebrates her win with the NXT Universe. We get a video of Gallus where they are talking about Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Awig, rolling with them for 6 weeks. For weeks, Gallus talks about how Awig and DuPont care more about social media, while they are they care about more than fighting. Joe Coffey and says they will see Igua and DuPont on Tuesday. Honestly, I would like to see Gallus versus the Good Brothers. Fucking, they both can fucking brawl. Love to see it. Take my money. If this is the stuff that I'm going to be seeing on Tuesday nights, I'm going to start watching NXT again. I'm going to give it a chance. And I'm going to start watching it for the next month. For the rest of this month, I'm going to start watching it. If it appeals to me, I will then include NXT into the rotation. If it doesn't, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just watch it, and I'll give you my thoughts throughout the regular weekly run-through. We get a replay of Carmen Pagovic and Ariana Grace picking up the win in the countdown to the NXT Heatwave kickoff pre-show. We see NXT General Manager Ava praising Pejovic and Grace for making a pretty good tag team. Grace says she's glad that it worked out, and Pejovic were by herself, it would have been catastrophic. Pejovic says she would pick up the win, and they are a team. Grace then says she was the real MVP tonight, and unfortunately, this is the last time they'll be teaming. Ava then books Grace and Pejovic in a match for Tuesday. Grace then says it's disgusting to pit 2 tag team partners against each other. Lola Vice was shown getting ready in the makeup room, while Ethan Page was shown taping up his wrists. He subtly made reference to the North. It was a tag team with what's his name? I think was Alexander something. They were a tag team in TNA, and I think that was really cool that he made it an ode to it, which is great. And I think I got pink eye shit. Or is it just my eyes are itching like crazy? NXT Tag Team title match. Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Andre Chase and Duke Hudson from Chase U. The match starts off with Axiom and Andre Chase. Both men take turns in locking each other's submission holds and pinning each other before Axiom hits Chase with a dropkick. Chase then pins Axiom, but Axiom kicks out Chase, then hits a drop kick on Axiom. Frazier then tags in and Chase hits him with a couple of arm drags. Duke Hudson then tags in and hits a belly-to-belly throw over Frazier. Chase then tags back in a double teams Frazier with Hudson. Axiom then tags in and double teams Chase with Frazier. Axiom then sends Chase crashing into the mat and tags in Frazier. Frazier then hits an insecurity on Chase, and Axiom follows it up with a suplex. Axiom and Frazier then hit double super kicks on Chase. Frazier then wears Chase down with a submission hold, then trips him and tags Axiom back in. Axiom then locks in an ankle submission on Chase, but Chase looks to escape with an insecurity. Axiom then hangs on and clinches a knee bar. Chase then escapes and sends Axiom crashing into the middle turnbuckle. Axiom and Frazier then tag in, and Hudson runs over Frazier and Axiom with a couple of double clotheslines. Axiom then hits a chokeslam on Hudson, then hits a chokeslam on Axiom, then sends Frazier crashing into the mat face first. Hudson then hits a gutbuster on Frazier, landing on the top of Axiom in the process and pins Frazier. Frazier then kicks out and drop kicks Hudson out of the ring, but Hudson hits a belly-to-belly suplex on Frazier, looks to hit a razor's edge. Frazier then counters with a hurricanrana, then sends Hudson crashing into the corner. Axiom then tags in and flies with Frazier to land on Chase U on the outside. Axiom then gets Hudson back in the ring and climbs to the top. Axiom then hits Hudson with a frog splash, then tags in Frazier. Frazier then flies off the top rope with a 450 splash on Hudson. Axiom then looks to fly off the top rope, but Hudson gets his boots up. Hudson then hits a sidewalk slam on Frazier and goes for a pin, but Frazier kicks out. Frazier and Hudson then teeter on the top of the rope, but Frazier fights off Hudson and hits a missile dropkick on him. Axiom then tags in and places Hudson on the top rope with Frazier. Frazier then tags himself in, and Axiom hits a Spanish fly on Hudson. Frazier then follows it up with a Phoenix Splash on Hudson and goes for a pin, but Chase breaks up the fall by hitting a code red on Axiom. Chase and Axiom then tag in and exchange right hands with each other. Chase then hits an enziguri on Axiom and a chop on Frazier. Frazier then looks to hit a kick on Chase, but accidentally hits Axiom. Hudson then takes Frazier down with a right hand, and Chase rolls up Axiom, but Axiom kicks out. Frazier then drop kicks Hudson into the ring steps on the outside as Chase hits a Russian leg sweep on Axiom back in the ring. Chase then hits the Chase U stomp on Axiom and then climbs to the top and hits a crossbody. Chase then goes for a pin, but Frazier breaks the fall. Chase then sends Frazier out of the ring and looks to send Axiom crashing into the mat. Frazier then tags in and looks to fly off the top rope, but Chase sees him coming and climbs up the top rope. Frazier then joins him there and hits him with a suplex. Axiom then tags in and double teams Chase with Frazier. Frazier flies over the top rope to land on Hudson on the outside. Axiom hits a Chase with a golden ratio inside the ring for the win, and they retain. Who should be John Cena's last match, Alyssa? To be quite honest, it should be somebody from the outside. And it should be somebody, and it should be from somebody from the outside. I would love it to be Kenny Omega, but that's not going to happen. We then head to the back where Wesley vents his frustration about being unable to dethrone Obi Femi as the North American champion and never getting in to challenge for Femi's title again as long as he's champion. Lee says he's at a loss for words and he needs some time to figure things out. Then he says the fans on this, he'll see the fans on this coming Tuesday's episode of NXT. We get an announcement. NXT Great American Bash set to take place on August 6th on Sci-Fi. God knows why. I think it may be because of the U.S. Open. That's the only thing I can possibly think of. Or it could be because of the Olympics. One or two of the situations. The young OG Javon Evans was warming up backstage. We see Sean Spears sitting on the couch and staring blankly. We get a video package for the next match, which is the NXT Women's Title match. Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. This is women's wrestling, people. I was thoroughly fucking impressed. Roxanne Perez, whatever she's doing, continue doing it. She is nailing everything. There is no reasons to take that title. The only person that I could think of that would be able to take that title off of her is probably Sol Ruca right now. But she is totally not ready. But Roxanne Perez, she needs to keep that title until they go to CW. And don't at me on this one. So the match starts off with Perez hitting an open palm strike on Vice, and Vice responds by shoving Perez and locking in a submission hold on her. Vice then looks to hit a cross arm breaker on Perez, but Perez counters it into a roll-up. Vice then kicks out, then hits the mat, return on Perez and sends her across the ring. Vice looks to hit a 305 on Perez, but Perez rolls out of the ring to avoid it. Vice then flies off the apron to land on Perez, then gets back inside the ring. Perez then sends Vice crashing into the middle turnbuckle and delivers some right hands on her, then sends her crashing into one of the other turnbuckles on the stomps on her chest. Vice then sends Perez face repeatedly bouncing off the turnbuckles, but Perez responds with a hair whip on Vice, then pulls on her. Perez then sends Vice into the corner and then follows up with an uppercut and a Russian leg sweep. Perez then goes for a pin, but Vice kicks out. Vice then hits a series of rapid-fire kicks on Perez's thighs, then follows up with a hip attack and a scissor kick. Vice then hits a right hand on Perez midsection, but Perez responds with an uppercut. Vice then intercepts Perez and locks in a submission, but Perez counters it into a pinfall to escape. Vice then locks in a sleeper on Perez, but Perez rolls out of the ring and sends Vice crashing into announce desk spine first to break the hold. Perez then sends Vice crashing into the ring post arm first and stomps on her hand before she nails her with a suplex. Perez and Vice then get back in the ring. Perez stomps on Vice's injured arm. Perez then sends it bouncing off the mat and goes for a pin, but Vice kicks out. Perez then continues wearing down Vice's arm and steps on it, but Vice responds with a kick on Perez. Perez then responds with a back suplex and looks to hit a back elbow, but Vice catches it and hits a 305, sending Perez crashing out of the ring. Vice then gets Perez back in the ring but pins her, but Perez gets her boot on the bottom rope to break the fall. Perez then delivers some right hands on Perez, but Perez sends Vice crashing into the ring post shoulder first. Perez then looks to hit a pop rocks on Vice, but Vice avoids the maneuver and it delivers a few roundhouse kicks on Perez. Perez then looks to hit a 305, but Perez counters it with a pop rocks and goes for the pin. Vice kicks out and Perez sends Vice out of the ring and clears the announce desk. Perez then gets Vice on top of it and hits her with the pop rocks. Perez then sends Vice back in the ring, goes for the pin, but Vice somehow manages to kick out. Perez then delivers some hammer and elbows on Vice and locks in a crossface, then hits her with a 3 pop rocks for the win, and there was no reasons to take the title off of her because she's doing so well. Cora Jade dethrones. Yes, that is. I forgot about her. Thank you, Alyssa. Yes, that's going to be that's going to remind me of Saraya and AJ Lee. That's going to be great. And I'm wondering if CM Punk is going to deal with his daughters being on odds. AJ Lee's got to come back for that. AJ Lee's got to come back for that. That is totally a perfect opportunity. and it'll bump up NXT through the roof. All right, main event time. But before that, we get a replay of WWE Hall of Famer The Heartbreak Kid inviting Brooke Jensen to NXT this Tuesday following the number of incidents following Jensen. Then we get a video of Lexis King continuing to mock Eddie Thorpe's choice of EDM music in favor of choice of rock and roll music. King then announces that he will face the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo, this coming Tuesday for the NXT Heritage Cup title. Then we get a video of the Don of NXT, D'Angelo, in his garden watering his fruits. D'Angelo says Luca Cafruno showed him that Lexis King video on how he's trying to take away the Italian Heritage Cup. D'Angelo then says it isn't going to be a cakewalk to take the title. D'Angelo then says it's going to be a slap the fake beard off King's face and then come back to his garden to water his basil plants. Basil, take my money. Mwah, chef's kiss, baby. We have NXT Fatal 4-Way match for the NXT Championship. Trick Williams versus Ethan Page versus Javon Evans versus Sean Spears. I don't like multi-man matches, but this one was interesting. The match starts off with Page jumping out of the ring, wanting to let Evans and Spears brawl amongst themselves. Evans hits a tope suicida on Page to take him down on the outside as Williams and Spears brawl in the ring. Williams then hits a body slam on Spears and sends him crashing to the outside as Evans and Page exchange right hands with each other. Spears and Page then send Williams and Evans bouncing off the real ring steps and return to the ring to form an alliance. Page and Spears then instantly turn on each other by hitting eyes, raked each other. Evans then nails Spears and Williams hits a neck breaker on Page. Williams and Evans then show their respect for each other before Evans hits an arm drag on Williams and rolls him up. Williams then kicks out and Evans hits a drop kick on him. Evans then rolls Williams up once again, but Williams kicks out. Williams then nails Evans with a clothesline and a body slam, but Spears looks to hit him with a chair. Williams then sees Evans coming and nails him with a leg lariat, then hits one on Page. Williams then hits a clothesline on Page and a double flapjack on Page and Spears. Evans then flies off the top rope to land on Spears and Page, but Williams hits Evans with an Uranagi. Page then hits a right hand on Evans and sends him crashing into Spears. Page then sends Evans into the corner and hits him with a right hand and places him on the top rope. Page then pulls Evans off the top and sends him crashing into Williams. Spears then follows up with a power slam and goes for the pin. Evans then kicks out and Page climbs to the top, but Spears hits him with a couple of chops and joins him up there. Evans knocks Spears off the ropes, but Williams gets Evans in electric chair position. Williams then clinches in a headlock on Spears, and Page flies off the top rope to land on everyone. Williams and Page then pin Spears and Evans respectively, but they both kick out. Williams and Page then exchange right hands, but Spears hits them both with his chair. Spears then looks to hit Evans with it, but Evans sees him coming. Evan then flies off the ropes, but Spears nails him with a chair. Spears then sets the chair up in the corner and looks to hit the C4 on Evans through it. Williams then saves Evans, but Spears hits him with a C4 onto the chair and goes for the pin, and Williams kicks out. Spears then gets Williams up on his shoulders, but Williams escapes. Spears then hits a super kick on Evans, but Page nails him with a kick of his own. William then takes Page down before he clears the announce desk and looks to send Page crashing through with a flapjack. Page then delivers some right hands on Williams to escape and sends him crashing into the ring post. Then sets up an Ego's Edge. Williams then escapes and sends Page crashing into the ring post, then delivers some right hands on him. Evans flies over the top rope, then sends Williams crashing through the barricades near the timekeeper's area. Spears then gets Evans on his shoulders and goes for the shoulders on the middle rope and then hits him with a C4. Page then sends Spear out of the ring and pins Evans, but Evans kicks out. Page then climbs to the top rope, but Spears trips him and hits him with a chop. Spears then joins Page on the ropes, but William pulls him down and both men are crashing out of the ring. Evans hits a Spanish fly on Page off the top and then follows it up with a cutter off the top and pins Page. William then breaks up the pinfall, then exchange right hands with Evans. Both men then nail each other with kicks before Evans looks to fly off the top. Spears then trips him and drags Evans up to the top and joins him. Evans then hits Spears with a neck breaker and follows it up with a tornado DDT and goes for a pin. Williams then breaks the fall and Evans looks to fly from the apron. William then sees him and coming and pushes him away, sending him crashing through the announce desk. That was a fucking crazy maneuver. That was awesome. Williams then looks to take down Spears, but Spears sees him coming in and locks in a sharpshooter. Page then breaks the hold and then follows it up with an Ego's Edge on Williams. Williams and goes for a pin. Evans then breaks the fall by getting Williams' foot on the bottom rope. Page then drags Evans into the ring and delivers some right hands on him. Page looks to hit the Ego's Edge on Evans, but Spears pulls Evans down. Williams then nails Spears and Evans with the trick shot, then hits one on Page. Page falls on top of Evans to pin, and the referee counts to 3 before Williams can break the fall. And we have a new NXT champion. Another success by Triple H and Shawn Michaels from AEW. He's within 6 weeks. He's at North America. He's NXT champion. So then, after the match, gloats and poses with the NXT championship, and we get a clip of Joe Hendry's entrance, and that's the teaser. So now you're gonna have to go watch NXT, and now I'm gonna go and relax for the rest of the day. It's 12:34, and I got this done in an hour and a half. I am too fucking good. Please do me a favor. Go check out the rest of my content on the channel, including episode 347 and the reviews, and you can get the go home shows through that. Also, more reviews and whatnot on the channel. Also, please join me this Friday for episode 348. And please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I go live, upload a video, or do a short, you will know about it. Please, if you want to donate to the podcast, you can go on my X account. I have to remember, as soon as I get off of here, I'm gonna post it on the thing. Scan the QR code on my PayPal, donate, send a message. I'll read it out here on the channel. Also, please go check out my social media at Mel's Match Hat on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Cameo, X, all Mel's Match Hat. On my Snapchat is Real Mel's Match Chat, and my OnlyFans, Real Mel's Match Chat. Now, OnlyFans is now you have to pay. July 1st is come and gone. You have to pay. It's only $5 to see my content. Please do me a favor. Go check out my Esther Classics at myestherclassics.com. Check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. And check out HOG Wrestling House of Glory at hogwrestling.net. I will be back here this Friday for episode 348. I want everybody to enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of the week. And please, if you're in a heat advisory, take it easy. Hydrate. Have a great Monday and enjoy Monday Night Raw tonight. I love you all. Bye.